OnlyFans, the only place plastic chicks with plastic hair charge men to objectify their bodies. Let's cue the rooster and get this show started.
Good morning and welcome to this edition of the Early Morning Show. Today I chose to make my commentary about the topic we received upwards of 70% of our email and comments on. That subject being OnlyFans. OnlyFans, OnlyFans, OnlyFans. That's all you heard. If you don't know now, OnlyFans is the site where a woman can take off as little or as much clothing as she would like to make a profit from men across the entire manosphere. Now, and ever since there have been massive layoffs of women, the platform seems to be getting overcrowded. OnlyFans is not merely the site of cute, naked women, but all types of women. Name your fetish. If they can do it with themselves or with other people, it's going on there, even group. But for the longest time, a lot of guys felt that men who visited these thought sites were desperate. But could this be yet another example of the drug dealer blaming the drug user? The men aren't as desperate as the women are. You see, prostitution has existed since the dawn of time. In some way, shape, or fashion. It's been there. Everybody knows this. But are we nearing the edge of a prostitution tsunami? OnlyFans is the only place that you can pay a plastic woman with plastic hair extensions to do all the things that she would never do at your house for $9 per month. An OnlyFans account costs the user $9.99 per month. The only reason I know about this is because I did my research. That same user is paying just 33 cents per day for that service, which makes selling of cooch pretty cheap, right? If you want to get even cheaper, then think about this. This same user is paying a little over a penny per hour each day. That is a pretty cheap cost for saying, hey lady, show me your tits. And I would bet that you wouldn't get the same woman on the streets or in a committed relationship to show you her tits for a penny. What she makes per hour from one fan, she could find walking down the street on the ground, a penny. She could do that. Any block you name, a shiny penny. Now, have I redefined the OnlyFans for you guys who thought about it before and thought women were making over like fat cats? It's some sort of newfound career, but it's not. It's not even a money source. Now, what about those who are suggesting that she is making a lot of money from a lot of men? You know, you add more men, you make more money, right? Okay, this may be true, but if we put it into perspective, it cheapens her more than the first example. Let me give it to you. Now, let's imagine placing just 1,000 of her OnlyFans in a large striptease club, right? A big club. And she's at the center attraction on stage. If she were to perform 1 hour straight for those 1,000 gentlemen at 1 penny per hour, they would owe her a grand total of $10 only for the whole group. Now, since she is paid in a penny per client's basis, that striptease club had better have a Coinstar machine to cash in on all those pennies after each set. Which is probably why we're having a shortage right now of some coins in the system in America, right? Some of those guys are taking in these coin dispensers in their belt with them into the club and they're paying them. Now, I ask you, when was the last time you saw a stripper accepting pennies? Never, right? Can you imagine 1,000 guys sitting in a strip club having to throw only 1 penny at the stripper on the stage per hour? As I said before, at the end of that hour, she would have only $10 from the group in total. $10 from 1,000 dudes for that 1 hour. So women are now doing things on OnlyFans that former members of the United States House of Representatives, like Anthony Weiner, was admonished for doing. showing his genitals online, right? OnlyFans women have taken up the profession of what dirty old men in dark, dank basements used to do, right? People would always talk about that dirty old man. The only difference is that he either got shamed or arrested for it. So, who did he get shamed by? These same women who are profiting from it today. And what about that great empowerment theory? I guess that flew out of the window right with her clothes, right? Remember, a woman should not have to take off her clothes to get attention from a man, right? Remember? How many times you heard that, right? Now, also remember that a woman is something more than a piece of meat. They told you that, right? What about the cause of the last decade of not objectifying a woman's body? Webster's dictionary defines the word objectify as degrading to the status of a mere object. So you make somebody an object. A deeply sexist attitude that objectifies women. But I guess it's only objectifying if a man does it, right? And empowering if an OnlyFans does it. Just another example of the double standards between the genders, I guess. So remember that even looking at these same women in a slightly suggestive manner on the job they left behind to do OnlyFans would have gotten your name sent to the EEOC office for retraining. Or worse, the company sued for millions and you fired. What about the countless boyfriends, dates, and husbands who have never seen their women in such various stages of undress or kinkiness as they portray on OnlyFans? The only time women wash up down there and clean up their appearance with makeup seems to be when they are selling their bodies, like in OnlyFans. But as I said earlier, this is the oldest profession in the world. But I tell you, both genders sell what is their strength. In men, that would be their physical strength for jobs that are required, right? And for women, that would be their bodies from one end of the spectrum to the other, or beauty. A woman working for minimum wage at McDonald's could simply go down the street to a gentleman's club and clean up in an hour what they could not pay her all week, right? But her male counterpart could not do that. But he could learn to operate a 300-foot, 40,000-pound sky crane and make more in an hour than they could afford to pay him in a whole day at fast food. But he can never be paid like her online or offline for his body. Let's compare the real world to the virtual OnlyFans world. A young woman requires a male to take her out, which costs money. Pay for dinner, which costs money. Then to a movie, which costs money. And for what? Not even a hint of what an OnlyFans get in the first minute for the cost of a shiny penny. A night on the town for just a hint of what she could do in the future. OnlyFans. An engaged woman requires a man to buy her an engagement ring, wine and dine her for just a hint of what he could have in the future. OnlyFans. A married man is required to buy his wife a house, lots of money, a car, more money, and whatever it is she thinks she can have for the continuation of infrequent sex with him. OnlyFans. So you see, prostitution or OnlyFans has been with us forever. The only problem is when the man that is paying for the service misses a payment. That is when you are canceled out, brother. OnlyFans. Without paying a prostitute, this is when you are canceled. Without paying, this is when a boyfriend is canceled. Without paying, this is when a fiance is canceled. And this is the most definitely when a wife cancels you out. But all these cancelers will monkey branch to the next paying male. So, in closing this commentary this morning, an OnlyFan only has to pay her 1 penny, 1 shiny or dirty penny per hour, right? Now, all day, he owes her a grand total of no more than 33 cents. That's 33 cents a day to see your wife naked. Now, in 3 days, that 33 cents, he owes her no more than $1. 3 days, $1. In 15 days, $5. That's all he owes her on OnlyFans. And for a grand total of a whole month, he owes her only $10. I could find that on the ground. So a lot of women that are common or average, they're finding out that OnlyFans is not the fan of them. If you look like a great model, hey, maybe you might make money. But OnlyFans paying women like a penny and a little penny and a third per hour, you can get that with a YouTube commercial that sponsors your video. For the men's channel, this is Charles Ripper. Stay with us. We got a lot of great things coming up today. We got an orange martini drink. We're pan frying crawfish. Everything today. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Hey, and don't do that OnlyFans thing. They don't pay enough. Tastes like OnlyFans. It's 5 o'clock on a planet somewhere, and we're about to get our drink on. Welcome to the Man's Bartender. Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome to the Man's Bartender. Today you're gonna do something great. We're gonna do the Bronx Cocktail. The Bronx Cocktail is a martini with orange juice. So we're gonna need 3 ingredients. Orange juice, you choose your choice. This is mine. It doesn't matter to me. Need some vermouth. I got the Martini Rossi here. And this Beef Eater London Dry Gin. Okay? And some ice and a Boston or barrel shaker. This will be a barrel shaker instead. Okay? So what we're going to do first is put some ice in the bottom of that barrel shaker. Okay? You just don't want to spin it for a living. Need some ice in the bottom. Alright. So when you put the ice in the shaker, do not fill it all the way up. Okay? Because you won't have anything to shake. You'll be shaking a solid block of ice. And if you've been with me before, I've told you that these barrel shakers have a tendency to freeze the lid on, the cap on, because the metal expands with the cold. So you might need to let it warm up at the top of the lid if you want to get that off. Okay, so we need these ingredients. The first thing we're going to do is use about 4 ounces of the gin. So that is going to be, and it'd be better if I took the lid off, wouldn't it? So that's going to be 2 of those. 1. What comes out to 1? Those. Right? And we're going to use just 1 ounce of that vermouth. Spill. Spill it right down your throat. Okay, so we're going to use about 2 ounces of the orange juice. There we have it, 2 ounces. Now what we want to do is shake her up. Make sure the lid's on there so you don't wet yourself, right? Now that is cold. Like I said, you can always see with the barrel shaker, look, that's cold, right? So that lid, that top one would be hard to come off right now, but luckily we have the strainer on the top. We can pour it directly on the top. But if I try to get that lid off, it's going to be pretty difficult. Okay? So what you do is just give her a pour. That's goodness there, right? Boop. Always, to you guys, the Bronx Cocktail. That's good. Go out and try it today yourself. A little bit of vermouth, dry gin, orange juice, your choice. You can have a barrel shaker with a lid. You don't want to wet yourself. And some ice. Shake it up. Pour it in. Doesn't matter which glass you use it in. You don't have to be have a martini glass. James Bond's not coming over to the house. We're back with you guys in just a minute. Today we're gonna cook what? Crawdads. Pan-fried crawdads. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You know what? I'm going to the Bronx to drink this. Come on. I don't need this. I hope to see you back next time on The Man's Bartender. Join me each week, and we're going to be making some great drinks, some crazy drinks, and stuff that you can prepare for your friends at a party. It looks like you've been a bartender for a long time.
Thank you for watching A Minute. Today, on the Man's Kitchen, we're making pan-fried crawfish with peppers and dirty rice. Don't go nowhere. We're coming right back.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of The Man's Kitchen. And what are we going to cook today? You won't see my face, but you'll see me. We're doing a crawfish fry. Now, if you were part of the last episode, remember, we're still drinking that Boston Martini, so enjoy. Now, crawfish fry, you need some things for that. You want about 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds of crawfish that have been rinsed and drained. Okay? Now, next, you're going to need some olive oil. That olive oil is going to go in the bottom of that pan because we're going to start cooking some of the ingredients before we do the crawfish. To that also, what you're going to need is some chopped garlic. And you can see right there, I've chopped the garlic in advance. Okay? Some chopped green onions. You're going to need 2 sticks of butter. Some dried chilies. A tablespoon of that crab shrimp broil. Okay? Doesn't matter particular brand you like, you get it. You're going to need about a tablespoon of the red lobster seasoning. So if you ever ate a red lobster before and you like the seasoning, it's in the store. And that's what I have there. Okay? You need about a tablespoon of sugar. That's what I have there. And about a teaspoon of salt. That's what I have there and all over the plate. Alright, and today we're going to add a little bit of soy sauce. Soy sauce. And we'll do that last. Okay, we won't do that up front. Alright, so I've got that pan on about a medium high. Okay? Take a little bit higher. You ready to cook? I am. I've been drinking enough. I'm ready to cook. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do to that is we're going to add in the chopped garlic. Make sure we move that garlic around and get her to start going. Now I can go ahead and turn it up now because we're about to turn the heat up on this episode. Now, what we're going to do after we cook that crawfish, crawdad, it depends on where you come from. You could be in Louisiana, you could be up in the East Coast, it's crawfish. Okay? On top of that, the crawfish, right beneath it, we're going to add some dirty rice. And so that's what you see in that pan. It's already pre-cooked in advance. You can get that from any store in a box. You don't have to try to cook that anymore. Alright? So that garlic's doing a little bit of sizzling. Just like the music. Can you hear the music playing? Okay, we know that garlic's sizzling. We want to go ahead and add the green onions to that. That's going to be some kind of good. Alright. You can hear it now, can't you? Okay, we let that go just a little bit. Isn't it bad when you have to wait for food? Waiting for. Now you know what? I'm gonna wait for a drink. Now, when you're cooking the crawfish, crawdad, depends on where you come from, that's what all that butter is for. Because we're gonna add a little bit of oil in that, but not from oils. We're gonna add it from the butter. Okay? And that's starting to look pretty good. So now we can add the butter. Let's go ahead and do something. Get rid of that. Right. Can you see that? even know what's been cooked for real on this channel? It's not that pretend cooking. I've got that now almost about on high. Because I want that to go ahead and do something. We don't want to wait for Christmas for that. Okay, so after we put the butter in there, the next thing we want to do is put the dried chilies in there. Now the dried chilies that I have, they are not open. So you don't want that hot seeds to come out. So they're actually closed. If you want to, when you finish, you can take those out. That's going to season that butter. Okay? Now what we can do is we can add that tablespoon of the crab shrimp board to that. And we got that. We can add the tablespoon of red lobster seasoning. Okay, because you need that when you're doing shellfish. A teaspoon of sugar and salt all at the same time. You just shake that together till it marinates into one. And go ahead and add that. Okay. Don't worry. We're getting to the part of adding this shellfish to it. Look at those colors. Now, since you're not here, let me tell you. That is hot, brother. Just smelling it. That's hot. It goes right to your nose. Okay, there it looks. All right, back to the fire. Get that up on a nice high. We're gonna go ahead and add the crawfish into that. And then we're gonna let it cook for 15 minutes. After we let it, and we stir it a little bit, or until it's done. Now it's about a good time. Now when you're doing shellfish of any sort, you want to always make sure that you buy it on the day you're using it. Don't buy shellfish a week in advance and decide you're going to cook some clams, some lobster, some crawfish, whatever it is, or crabs. It's going to be bad. It goes bad quick. You can actually get them live, or you can get them like these were. It doesn't make a difference, as long as it's good. So what we're going to do is not let you guys have to sit here and wait and watch me do this. We're going to go ahead and let that cook for 15 minutes until it's done. We're going to come back and plate it and let you see how it looks. Enjoy the music. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. Now, we plated up the rice and we're ready to serve. Now what I did is I made sure I had the tongues. We'll go ahead and turn that off. I put a lid on there to get consistent heat for the entire pour and cook. What I did is I use these tongues to pull out those hot peppers. Because unless you're used to eating that, you might not want to. So what we can do now, look how good that looks. Oh, look how good that looks. Oh, if you were only here, right? You can take that, decorate around the side of the dish. You got family members coming over. You can do this. Anybody can do it. It doesn't take an expert. Side. Okay, you take that off the burner. We don't need to cook that anymore. Now, you know how to eat rice, but you know how to eat crawfish. If from Louisiana, you know how to eat crawdads. So the best way to do is you take the crawfish or crawdad, right, the way it is. Hello, don't eat me. You straighten out the tail, right? Once you get it straighten out the tail, give it a slight twist, pull the meat out. You can eat that. You bite it. Pull it right out. In the head, you suck it, the ingredients right out. Oh, that's some kind of good. So remember, go out, purchase that, make yourself a dish, invite some family over, some friends, and do something for yourself. McDonald's is not the only place to eat, and Burger King ain't too much better than that. So, for the men's kitchen, this is Charles. Next segment, you know what's coming up. It's all about medicine. It's all about men. The men's medical moment. Don't miss it. We'll see you again next time. I'm gonna eat. Cajun Louisiana style. Ooh, crawl dip. I'm sure glad y'all came to see me today.
On today's Men's Medical Moment, we're on the subject of men's sexuality. In particular, wet dreams. Have you had them? Where did they come from? Stick with us.
Welcome back, guys, and to today's The Men's Medical Moment. We're talking about everything you need to know about wet dreams. Not the girls in your wet dreams, but wet dreams. This article comes to us from Medical News Today. While wet dreams are typically associated with adolescent boys, they are a common experience for both sexes from puberty through adulthood. The medical term for wet dream is nocturnal emissions. Not like a car, but from you. What are wet dreams? Wet dreams are when a person orgasms involuntarily while they are sleeping because of a dream, which may or may not be erotic. It doesn't have to be. They are called wet dreams because when a male has this type of dream, he may awaken with wet clothing or bedding. So information is no joke. This is because semen, the fluid containing sperm, is released during ejaculation. And everybody knows that, right? However, the same term is also used to refer to when a woman orgasms during her sleep. Wet dreams are not caused by masturbation during sleep. They occur without any manual stimulation. Research has found that on average, 8% of dreams have some sexual content. In the same study, both men and women reported having an orgasm in about 4% of their erotic dreams. And I'm sure it's happened to everybody before, right? The facts and myths about wet dreams. There are many myths about wet dreams which can make them confusing or cause anxiety if a person does not know what to expect. Number 1, wet dreams do not reduce sperm count. Some people believe that wet dreams will reduce a man's sperm count. However, wet dreams are a way for the testicles to remove older sperm and help with the natural formation of new sperm. When I used to counsel myself, couples for a living, I would have to teach them this. Men have a renewing cycle for sperm that lasts only 72 hours. If a man does not ejaculate in a dream through sex with his woman or by manual stimulation, his body will reabsorb it and make new sperm. So his own body will eat that old sperm up. This is why a male always has fresh sperm while a woman only has the same egg she was born with up until menopause. So the reason I had to explain this to couples is that the man's wife was mad that he had a random romantic dream during the week. And this is the same week she had denied him sex. She was wondering what happened. Is he lusting after somebody else? In other words, she was so sure that he was imagining other women beyond her at night. Now back to the article. Number 2, women can have wet dreams. Many people associate wet dreams with men, or more specifically, adolescent boys. But women can also have wet dreams. A female's wet dream may result in orgasm as well as additional vaginal secretions from arousal. So if you woke up to your woman and she was doing that, you see why now, right? Men may be more prone to wet dreams because they naturally produce several erections at night. Number 3, wet dreams do not reduce a person's immunity. Some people also believe that wet dreams can cause a person to have lower immunity to things such as a cold or infection. This is a myth and has no basis in fact. However, wet dreams can help reduce excess sperm in the testicles, which is a healthy function for a male's reproductive system. Number 4, wet dreams only happen during puberty. Wet dreams are more common in puberty due to hormonal changes, but they can also happen during adulthood. To the grave, brother, to the grave. So while wet dreams are most common during puberty, they can also happen in our adult life. Wet dreams tend to occur more often in puberty due to hormonal changes, right? Hormonal levels in adults are more consistent, not up and down like a teenage boy. This making it less likely that they will have a wet dream. So wet dreams may also be more frequent during adolescence because younger boys may not frequently be masturbating or having sex. So the older sperm is released during sleep instead. Number 5, wet dreams are not a sign of illness. It is a myth that wet dreams are a result of an underlying illness or medical condition. In fact, the opposite is true. Wet dreams are a normal occurrence and may be a sign of healthy sexual functioning. Number 6, masturbation probably cannot prevent wet dreams. While masturbation may reduce the number of wet dreams a person experiences, it does not guarantee a person will never experience them. Number 7, wet dreams will not shrink a penis. Some people believe that wet dreams reduce the size of a person's penis. However, there is no scientific evidence for this today. There are no illness conditions or natural occurrences that will cause the male reproductive organ to shrink. Some people never have wet dreams. Wet dreams are a natural occurrence for both men and women, as I said before. They cannot be controlled or stopped, and a person should not feel ashamed to have them. How often wet dreams occur varies between individuals. People may have no wet dreams ever, only a few, sporadic wet dreams during adolescence, several frequent wet dreams throughout adolescence, but none in adulthood, regular or sporadic wet dreams through their entire life. So, number 9, wet dreams are not always erotic dreams. Wet dreams are often associated with sexual or erotic dreams. However, this is not always the case. A person can have a wet dream without dreaming about sexual activity and may become aroused during stimulation from friction with the bedding or other factors. And finally, number 10, sleeping on the stomach may induce a wet dream. One study suggests that sleeping on the stomach makes it more likely the person will experience a sexual dream. The evidence is limited, however, and more studies need to be done to determine if sleep positions play any role in whether a person experiences wet dreams or not. For the Men's Medical Moment, this is Charles. Stay with us, guys, and we're going to close out the show, but we'll be back on Monday, right? On Saturday, make sure you watch Killer Wives right after the Men's Medical Moment. The preview for Killer Wives is coming up for this Saturday, which is tomorrow. Don't miss it, brother. Tell your friends to watch it. We'll be back in a moment.
And now we bring you Killer Wives, Episode 3, Sunday School Teacher. These are the actual case facts of Marilyn K. Plants, who solicited a murder for hire against her own husband. Isn't trust a bitch? As Mrs. Plants prepares her Sunday school lesson, the fire department is assisting the police in closing in on her husband's killers.
Hey, we're back. I wanted to give you guys a special segment today that comes to us from one of our viewers. James brought us a story to our attention. There's a story out there, I don't know if you guys heard it, about a lesbian couple who killed a little boy that was their child. Now, you could be confusing this one particular story. There's another lesbian couple that they injured a boy real badly and he went to the hospital and he suffered seizures. And they went to prison. But both couples went to prison, two separate countries. But I wanted you to go ahead and hear this story and to hear part of what James has. James is talking from his point of view in his relationship with his mother. So in today's special report, we bring you a story that comes to our attention from a viewer, James Smith of Arkansas. The story was originally written by the Daily Mail newspaper. Now, I must warn you that this story is graphic in nature and involves the death of a little boy at the hands of his two lesbian mothers. But before we get into the article, I want you to hear the words of Mr. James Smith. A good man, Mr. Smith, epitomizes what happens to a young boy that gets betrayed by his mother, even through manhood. And a lot of you guys have been through that. James wrote to me the other day about this story because he was concerned about the death of this one young boy at the hands of those he trusted most. Now, typically, what I know from talking to 1,000 people over the years and through counseling couples and individuals is whatever was passionate for you through childhood is what drives you to defend others in adulthood. If you were mistreated by your mother, then you would be driven to defend those who are mistreated by their mother. As James is. Listen now to just some of the recorded words I got from James the other day.
It's an honor to be recorded and then shared to the Charles Rivers program. Thank you. Thank you. I hope this message helped everybody. My name is James Smith, and I live in Arkansas. Won't give too much about myself to avoid risk being doxxed, but I had to cut my mother off a few days ago from calling my phone. She completely sold herself to the devil. She said and did some things toward me that I just can't get my mind past. It makes sense to understand the motive why, other than the devil is controlling her like a puppet. And the young boy that died in the hospital, due to the wounds and the abuse that they inflict on him. You know, I cannot describe the grief, the sadness I feel for the little boy. I cannot describe the horror he must have went through. And I wished I was there to protect him and stood in the gap for him. See, we need more men out there to stand in the gap for these kids. And we need to quit protecting these damn feminists, so there's going to be more of that kind of evil going on. Like I said, I had to cut my mother off from calling me. She said...
Okay, so now let's go to the article. The title, Can Wives Be in Prison Together? Lesbian couple incriminating, they had incriminating Google searches. That's what the cops investigated on their computer. Before they battered 2-year-old son so hard his heart ruptured. Are revealed as social services admit the boy fell off the radar of the investigation. 2-year-old Liam was found having died from a ruptured heart in 2014. His mother and her lesbian civil partner denied murdering the youngster. They claimed another child had caused injuries which led to his death. Jury convicts them of murder and other child cruelty charges after the trial. They tied another boy to a chair in the dark room with snakes and rats. The article further reads, horrific failings by social services were exposed yesterday as a mother and her civil partner were found guilty of murdering her 2-year-old son. Liam Fee died when his heart ruptured from blows to his chest, and a pathologist found he had more than 30 injuries, including a fractured upper arm and thigh. His mother, Rachel, and her lesbian partner, Naomi, were able to carry out 2 years of sustained attacks on the toddler, and 2 of the boys as social service repeatedly failed to act. The pair depraved abuse included this. Listen. Imprisoning one boy in a cage made from a fire guard. Using cable ties to bind his hands behind his back. Tying another boy naked to a chair in a dark room with 9 snakes and several rats, forcing him to eat his own vomit, and telling him a boa constrictor ate naughty little boys. Now you can understand the passion that James brings, even if he strays with his focus of this pain. And now some more words from James, just before we finish this heart-wrenching story.
As far as my mother's side of the family is concerned, pretty much the majority of that side of the family, I just got to the point where I just done disown them. I'll tell you a story about my aunt. The day my grandmother passed on my mama's side, this was 2016, I think it was around Mother's Day, 2016. Well, my boss took me over there to the hospital before I had transportation at the time. Okay, and my grandmother looked peaceful. She looked peaceful, laying there. But after we finished visiting and everything, everybody came together. That was a Friday morning, I think in May, around that time, close to Mother's Day. But got into an argument about me not wanting to eat it. Excuse my voice. About me not wanting to eat at Sonic. I don't eat at Sonic because it tears my stomach up. If that ain't feminist behavior, I don't know what is. She tried to tell me that I'm a grown man. I make my own choices. Where I'm not nobody's child, for one thing. If I'm gonna be a child, I'm gonna be a child of God. I'm not gonna be nobody's whatever for them to walk all over. No, that woman act like a witch. She's supposed to be my aunt, but she act like a witch. When I was a child, and they thought they had control of me and manipulate me, they didn't know how strong my mind was made up about what I wanted to do when I grew up, or the fact that they couldn't manipulate me against my dad, or any of that stuff. And they couldn't. They tried to shame me coming from a trip from Dallas back to home, 8-hour trip. Yep. All that stuff is backfiring on them now. So, the more you hear, the more I open up. The more I talk, the more I open up. There'll be future shows that I open up and be glad to open up about, give y'all some examples of what to look for. And then I'll give y'all some examples of how to read these women for what they are and why to stay away from them. Seem like by every passing day they fall further from grace. And their eyes, you look at their eyes, they don't have that sparkle in them. No, most of them don't have that sparkle in them. Haven't seen that in a while. There's something going on.
Okay, so let's go now to the other half of the story, because it doesn't get any better. The two women forced a youngster to take cold showers when they wet the bed. Days before Liam was found dead with his leg broken, the pair, who used to live in Ryton, Gateshead, had used Google to look up morphine for children. Will a hip fracture heal on its own? And can wives go to prison together? Today it was confirmed that the pair are extremely unlikely to be sent to the same jail, as accused are not usually located together, a spokesman for the Scottish Prison Service said. Risk assessments are being done ahead of sentencing, so a decision can be made on which of the 4 Scottish prisons that house female inmates the two will be sent to. The couple had tried to blame another boy, and this gets worse, who could not be named for legal reasons, for Liam's death. Why? Naomi, one of the mothers, had forced the boy's fist into Liam's mouth after his death in March 2014 in order to leave DNA traces. Livingston's High Court heard this testimony. Thank you for listening. If you have any comments you want to leave, pro or against this article, that's fine. Make sure you like this video. Not for these reasons, though. If you have a story that you want to bring to our attention, go to our link at Facebook. Do what James did. Leave us a voice message on what you would like us to talk about, and we'll do a story on it. For MNN, this is Charles Rivers. Thank you.